News when you want it with Bloomberg News Now. I'm Monica Ricks. Secretary of State Marco Rubio says a transatlantic alliance has to evolve, but also take a page from the past, as he reassured allies of Washington's commitment to Europe today in Munich. Rubio elaborated on that speech in an exclusive interview with Bloomberg's editor-in-chief, John Mickelwaith.
The world has changed, and the alliance has to change. But the fundamental thing that has to change is we have to remind ourselves of why it is we have an alliance in the first place. This is not just a military arrangement. This is not just some commercial arrangement. It is what holds us together in the first place as an alliance, is our shared civilizational values.
Rubio also commented on Iran, Cuba, and the Russia-Ukraine war. Prime Minister Keir Starmer also spoke at the Munich Security Conference today and says Britain is no longer the country that voted for Brexit. He's vowed to build a closer relationship with the European Union now and bolster its ties with the U.S. A different tone from Canada and France, which both addressed their fractured relationships with the U.S. Here at home, a partial government shutdown is now in effect, with Democrats refusing to fund Homeland Security without immigration reforms. Oregon Congresswoman Andrea Salinas says some big sticking points are mask bans, body cams, and arrest warrants.
Trump is taking things off the table before he's accepting any provisions right now. And, as was just mentioned, these warrantless arrests and searches are unconstitutional.
ICE isn't the only agency affected by this shutdown either. FEMA, TSA, the Coast Guard, and Secret Service all fall under the Homeland Security umbrella. And there's no telling how long this shutdown could last. Congress is on break for the next week. Meantime, the Trump administration is moving ahead with a plan to remake the U.S. immigration detention system. Bloomberg's Amy Morris has more from Washington.
The Detention Reengineering Initiative is a $38.3 billion plan that calls for acquiring and renovating detention centers, adding processing sites, and taking control of existing facilities to create an efficient detention network. This new network will increase bed capacity by more than 92,000 and is expected to be fully implemented by November, funded through congressional allocations under the One Big Beautiful Bill Act. In Washington, Amy Morris, Bloomberg Radio.
Bets are rising that interest rates will be falling soon, or at least declining a bit. Investors are pricing in higher expectations, now about 50%, that the Federal Reserve will lower interest rates 3 times this year. It follows yesterday's reading of U.S. inflation, which showed a 0.2 increase month to month and 2.4% year to year. Both figures are below forecasts. Elon Musk could follow Tesla's playbook ahead of a planned IPO for SpaceX. Here's Bloomberg's Ed Kalegi.
SpaceX is considering a dual class share structure in its planned IPO this year, mirroring a strategy its billionaire founder Elon Musk floated for Tesla. A 2-tier structure would give select shareholders stock with extra voting power that would allow them to dominate decision-making. The move would allow insiders such as Musk to maintain control of the company, even with a minority stake. Ed Kalegi, Bloomberg Radio.
Sales have been rebounding in recent quarters for McDonald's and Burger King, but Wendy's is struggling to keep up. The fast food chain says comparable sales fell 10% last quarter from last year. Wendy's plans to close hundreds of stores over the next few months now to cut costs. And grocery prices may be higher, but Instacart doesn't seem to be hurting. In fact, the company says the number of orders made with its service and the money made on each order both increased last quarter. And it's predicting similar results this quarter thanks to its effort to sign up new users. Shares of the company, which trades as Maple Bear on Wall Street, rallied 9.2% yesterday, its biggest full-day advance in nearly 2 years. And that's news when you want it with Bloomberg News Now. I'm Monica Ricks, and this is Bloomberg.